Alright, this is Fantasy Football in 5, and we are back for another week. Last week was our bloopers video, and we hope you enjoyed that. And this week we will be doing our end-of-season awards.
So if you haven't seen last week's video, hit the big red button below. Alright, so as usual we're going to start off with the best overall player and quarterback, and that goes to Cam Newton, aka Superman. This season he had 3,837 passing yards, 50 total touchdowns, and only 10 interceptions, so you can see why he deserves our best overall fantasy player and quarterback ranking.
Alright, the best running backs go to Devontae Freeman and AP. Now, Devontae Freeman had 1,056 yards and 11 touchdowns in the season, where AP had 1,485 yards and 11 touchdowns on the season.
So great seasons for both running backs. Alright, so to follow the running backs, we're going to give our trophy to the best wide receivers, and that goes to Antonio Brown and Julio Jones. Antonio Brown had 1,834 receiving yards, 10 touchdowns, and Julio Jones had 1,871 yards and 8 touchdowns. So fantastic performances for these high-key wide receivers.
Alright, so for the best tight end award, this goes to Rob Gronkowski and Jordan Reed. Now, Rob Gronkowski, he had 1,176 yards and 11 touchdowns, and Jordan Reed had 952 yards and 10 touchdowns.
Alright, so now it's time for our flex position. We have 3 players: Brandon Marshall, Allen Robinson, and Doug Martin. Brandon Marshall had 1,502 yards, 14 touchdowns. Allen Robinson with the Jaguars, 1,400 yards flat, 14 touchdowns. And then Doug Martin, our only running back on the flex list, 1,402 yards, 6 touchdowns. So great productive seasons for all 3 of those players.
Alright, so now for the best defense, we have the Broncos winning that one. They pretty much led their team to the Super Bowl this year. They provided necessary points as well as keeping opponents from scoring points. They had multiple turnovers and just beat quarterbacks up, as you can ask Tom Brady.
So defense really does win championships. Alright, now our kicker, Stephen Gostkowski, he wins our award. He was 33 for 36 this season. His longest field goal was 57 yards, and kicked the Patriots all the way to the AFC Championship game, where they eventually lost to the Super Bowl champion Denver Broncos.
So, for Comeback Player of the Year award, we have Larry Fitz receiving that award. He had 1,215 yards receiving and 9 touchdowns, and he was a monster in the postseason.
He hadn't had a 1,000-yard season since 2011, I believe.
Yep.
So, a great resurgent season for him. Alright, so our waiver wire pickup week-to-week player of the year goes to Allen Hurns. We nominated him in our mid-season awards, I believe. And he's finished the season with 1,031 yards and 10 touchdowns to go along with Allen Robinson's 14 touchdowns. So he and Matt Robinson caught a lot of touchdowns from Blake Bortles, but it just goes to show that Hurns can find ways to score even with a young quarterback such as Blake Bortles.
Alright, so biggest steal award goes to Tyler Eifert with 615 yards and 13 touchdowns on the season. He performed very well for people who picked him up around 13 or 14.
So look for him to be a top priority tight end next year. Alright, so now for our biggest bust of the season, guess who? DeMarco Murray. He had a terrible year for a rusher who just came off the best season of his career, and probably the best season a Cowboy running back has ever had. This year he only has 700 yards, 6 touchdowns, so a very disappointing season for him, the Eagles, and all of his fantasy owners.
So this is why he only gets a participation award. Alright, so for the most consistent player of the year, this award goes to Brandon Marshall, as he had a very good season with the Jets. 1,502 yards, 14 touchdowns, and I think his lowest stat of all the games he played in was, I think, 6 points fantasy-wise. So that's really good.
Alright, so our best rookie of the season goes to Rams running back Todd Gurley. Now, he came on after missing a couple weeks with his torn ACL, but this season he had 1,106 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns. So, great rookie season for him. Amari Cooper came in second for us, but expect him, Gurley, to have an even better season next year in Los Angeles.
Alright, so Best Fantasy Postseason Player Award goes to Doug Baldwin, as he lit it up at the end of the season. He came out with 1,069 yards and 14 touchdowns. So shout out to him for putting him in at the very end of the season.
Alright, that was Fantasy Football in 5 Weeks. Thank you for watching. We deliver all your fantasy news in 5 minutes because honestly, who would want to watch a 30-minute video on this topic?
Amen.
This was our end of the season awards. We hope you enjoyed and agreed with us. Next week we'll bring you some offseason news that's already happened in the NFL already, so stay tuned for that and don't forget to subscribe.